5 of the Stock European Championship comes to you from one of the most legendary stops on any calendar, the Circuito de Jerez Ángel Nieto, and the race for the title is about to hit fever pitch. Lorenzo Dalla Porta and Mario Mayor tied on 61 points coming into the round. The pre-season favourite Dalla Porta is mired deep on the ground after qualifying 10th. This is the time for Mayor to shine for a maiden pole in Stock, but as we've seen throughout 2024, anything can happen. And with 16 laps of Circuito de Jerez Ángel Nieto, it's never over until the checkered flag falls. Well, we're still getting our breath back after what was quite an unbelievable end to the European Talent Cup race there. Race number 2. We've had 5 incredible races here in Jerez. Opened up in 1987, and the history books are filled with great racing all the way throughout, and I think 2024 FIM JuniorGP World Championship can add its name to that one as well, because it's been utterly unbelievable throughout the entirety of the day. Liam Hodgins and Conor Doherty bringing you the final race of the day here in Jerez at Circuito de Jerez Ángel Nieto. It's time for the Stock European Championship. So, as the sun continues to beat down on top of the iconic UFO built back in 2002, the track temperature, the air temperature, we hope at this time of the day, just about to reach 4 o'clock, might start cooling off a little bit.
I wouldn't be too confident, Liam. As you said, we're in for a treat here.
We definitely are, and we had a treat last time out in Portimao, and it was birthday boy Archie McDonald that went from his first ever pole position. There was a few crashes a little bit further back. Thankfully the riders seemed okay, but they were a little bit not happy with each other, so to speak. But it was Archie McDonald leading the way from Mario Mayor. Martino Iozzo, the Pink Panther, eventually finding his way through into 3rd spot and began to close down the top 2 in the race. As the Pink Panther honed into shot, he quickly gained on the back of the top 2 and went for a move into turn 1, but lost the front, almost taking out Mayor. Mayor making sure that he avoided that one, and side by side as he started the final lap, almost elbow to elbow. We saw plenty of that in the European Talent Cup, we've just missed. And it was the final lap run to the flag from Archie McDonald to take a maiden victory. The newly turned 18-year-old from Australia became a Stock European Championship winner. Well, it was delight to despair for Archie McDonald from Portimao to Jerez. After tasting victory, we'd have been hoping for much, much more coming here to Jerez. But breaking news we have to give you ahead of round number 5 in the Stock European Championship is that Archie McDonald will not be competing here this weekend. Unfortunately, some visa issues have stopped him from being able to travel to Jerez, but we hope he'll be back for Aragon in just over a month's time. He did put up a social media post saying that he's confident that it could all be resolved by the end of the month. So if Archie McDonald is watching, we hope to see you back for round number 6 and produce some of those incredible battles we saw in Portimao. However, the rider he battled so valiantly for maiden victory honours in Stock European Championship, Mario Mayor, has just went and took his maiden pole position in the class yesterday with quite a brilliant lap on the GV Racing Yamaha squad. So he'll be starting just in front of Rodriguez and Michaela, rounding out your front row with Iozzo, who we saw in the highlights from Portimao, crashing out when battling for victory. And if you're wondering where our championship leader is, Lorenzo Dalla Porta, he is mired all the way back on row number 3 in 9th position, and he's been struggling quite a lot so far here this weekend. Has Lorenzo Dalla Porta, a track that he's not really gelled with in any of his classes he's raced in his career. We were just checking back the stats yesterday, Connor, and Lorenzo Dalla Porta's best ever finish came here in 2019 on his way to Moto3 World Championship, and it was only an 8th place finish, so he's never finished any higher than 8th in any class.
Yeah, and I think that explains his qualifying situation. It's not where he would want to be. But sometimes riders have circuits which they just don't gel with necessarily, that they can't get the best out of themselves at. And for Lorenzo Dalla Porta, it seems like Jerez is one of those rare Achilles heels in what is otherwise a very illustrious resume.
Yeah, it is indeed, and a great career that Lorenzo Dalla Porta has had so far. We were told that he did have a big practice crash at turn number 11 on Friday, so he might be feeling some ill effects of that crash, because as we've heard so much throughout this weekend, it's been a corner that's taken out a few riders, but we definitely know it's not a slow crash when you go down at turn number 11.
No, absolutely not. And I think we did hear as well that the wind was playing at the corners 11 and 12 as well.
Yeah, well, indeed. Fast rights to end the lap at the back end of the paddock. But we just saw Mario Mayor, who did take his debut pole position yesterday.
I'm very happy for the first pole for me and my team. It's a session with a lot of hot, but very happy for the team, for the person that support me, and I try to do tomorrow the best in the race. For tomorrow, I expect to be in the podium and do my best.
Well, pole position time of 1:44.3 for Mario Mayor, who is equal on points with Lorenzo Dalla Porta, 61 points apiece, but it is Dalla Porta that leads the championship, with the fact he's had a couple of race wins so far this season to Mayor's 0 race wins so far in 2024. But as the 82 makes his way round to the grid, we will be getting underway very shortly for our stock European Championship race here at Jerez, round number 5. And Mayor, he has been looking unassailable so far this weekend. Took the all-time lap record in practice in the early morning of Saturday, 1:43.8. When it came to the more increased temperatures in the afternoon, with the track greasing up a little bit, he can only get his pace down to a 44.3. Still a very fast lap time indeed. Would have put him in pole position for last year's race as well. So Mayor comes to the grid, comes to pole position.
And he comes here to Jerez with maybe his best opportunity to get that win and to seize control, seize initiative of the title race in stock. And taking advantage, of course, of the fact that Lorenzo Dalla Porta finds himself in P9.
Yeah, 2 podiums to his name. Came in the last 2 races, Catalonia and the Algarve. Now this is possibly the best opportunity he has, as Connor just said.
Ooh, Navarra con Mario Mayor. Navarra with Mario Mayor.
And sporting number 86 rather than the 82, so...
It's a long way, to Navarra from here. Navarra's up in... near Aragon. Well, we'll be...
in a couple of weeks' time. I said a couple of weeks, it's more like a few weeks' time.
Kind of sandwich between Aragon and the Basque Country.
Yeah, we can imagine the weather will be a lot more chilly in late September, mid-October for Aragon.
Wow. But those fans have travelled down hundreds and hundreds of miles.
Yeah, they have done indeed, but you know, when you've got a good fan base, they'll travel anywhere with you, they'll be supporting you everywhere. And for Mario Mayor, it's maybe just giving him a little bit of extra impetus. A few more tenths of a second around this qualifying lap.
Absolutely.
Nahela there, the young Italian, very consistent ever since Misano. And
yeah, he knows what it's like to be on a podium, and there we have a message, get well soon, Bent.
Yeah, so sending out the well wishes. It's good to see these riders, even though they obviously want to succeed for themselves. They always grew up with a lot of these other riders that they race against, and there's a strong community.
Absolutely, you generate these relationships from a very early age, and it means everything to them.
Yeah, it does indeed. And a rider that glory means everything to is Dino Iozzo, the South African. The Pink Panthers, I think it was our colleague Chris Jordan dubbed at the previous round in Catalonia with the IUM Motorsport squad. It gave us a very nice coffee yesterday, I must admit.
Absolutely.
It was something that managed to spur us on for the rest of the day ahead, which was very nice. So Dino Iozzo is He's shown great speed throughout the entirety of the year, but he just had a lot of misfortune, and potentially we might not see him next year, which would be a great shame because he's a great character, is Dino Iotto, but maybe he'll be going off to his native homeland of South Africa and maybe competing there, but we hope to see more of him in the future as well.
Absolutely, and he's certainly one of the riders that's capable of bringing this campaign to a conclusion with, if not just a podium, a win. He's got that kind of talent.
Yeah, he does indeed, and it would be great to see him get his first podium for quite some time, potentially even his first race win. He has the speed to do so, as we've seen so many times from charging from the middle of the pack to the front in the late stages of the race. We just saw there Verdoya on the Team Honda Leglise 25, going from the middle of row number 2. Took a podium back in Misano, but hasn't really featured at the front ever since. So we're looking forward to seeing the Honda rider feature near the front, potentially.
A message there. I didn't quite pick that up. Did you?
I have no idea what that was, to be honest. I hope it was something pre-watershed.
I think maybe the last symbol was some kind of A, but I don't know.
Goodness me, if you can't figure it out, neither can I. So I've got absolutely no chance for that one. But the sun is still shining over the stock European Championship riders, and a rider that is looking as cool, I was going to say as a cool cucumber, is Carlos
Anima Uri 35. We'll see you in Motorland.
Yeah, so a lot of riders are showing a lot of support from not being here this weekend, so it's great to see. But just saw the finishing positions of number 67 Valley, and starting from career best 7th position on the grid, so a chance of some good points and finishes here today for the number 67. 8th on the grid, Iker Garcia, one podium to his name back in Catalonia. A big love heart to everybody back at home.
Yeah, that one's easy enough to interpret.
I don't know, I might have got it wrong. I took a wild guess at that one, but yeah, podium not Catalonia, it was at Estoril. As we see lots of flags waving in the grandstand. It's been a fantastic turnout here at Jerez today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fans are coming in from the very beginning of the day's track action, and they've just kept coming in.
Yeah, and you know, this man has got lots of fans from around the world. Lorenzo Dalla Porta, your 2019 Moto3 World Champion. 2 wins to his name at Misano and Catalonia. He did miss the previous round with other commitments in another series, but when he comes back here, I think he expected to rock up and take off where he left off previously.
I think he would have felt that anywhere but here.
Exactly, yes. So he's got a bit of an upward climb, does Lorenzo Dalla Porta, from 9th on the grid, with his main championship rival starting from pole position. Black Trias, the number 62 rider, from 10th position on the grid, row number 4, only 17 years of age. Unbelievable how young some of these riders still are, making us feel really old in our early 30s corner.
Well, you didn't need to give that away.
I mean, I had to.
I could have been 26.
Could have been, but you're not. So I think everyone listening at home needs to know that you're not as young as you sound. So as we move on to 11th spot on the grid, Borja Jimenez, another 17-year-old. Yeah, 17-year-olds are really flying the flag for their age group here in the stock European Championship.
Yeah, I think a lot of these riders are going to try and take advantage of the fact that Lorenzo Dalla Porta isn't starting at the front as well, which is going to give them a chance.
But what can Dalla Porta do is that we have seen, especially in Catalonia, where we saw many riders who were not seen fight at the front at all throughout the season, really fighting at the front because tyre consumption was so big. We expect a lot less tyre consumption here today. But Lorenzo Dalla Porta will be hoping to get a good clean start, make up some positions, and then find out where he can go from there. Varga, bike 47, 12th on the grid, row number 4. Showed really good speed in the Algarve, 5th position, first top 5 finish of his career in stock, and a rider that's really pushing on. Juan Santos, 8 points to his name, 16th in the championship. And then bike 81. We have seen him feature a couple of times in the lower reaches of the top 10, but his late race pace, to be honest, has not been quite as strong as he would hope it to be, so he slipped in the order. However, the Algarve last time out seemed to be a bit better in tyre management.
Well, these are things that you have to work on, and it's a process, isn't it, Liam? So he'll be hoping that his team have figured out what he needs to do to maintain that pace late into the race, and he'll try and better his results in previous races.
As indeed so. As the mechanics begin to make the way off the grid, it's the final race of the day, and we've had 5 incredible races, and we expect Stock European Championship to be nothing less of outstanding, with Mario Mayor setting off from his maiden pole position. Can he take the championship lead outright in 16 laps time?
Here we have the starting grid in the Stock European Championship then. Mario Mayor leads the line from pole position. He's followed by Adrian Rodriguez and Demis Mihaila. Behind them, Dino Iozzo and Andy Bedoya. In 6-8, Romero. Row 4, we've got Trias Jimenez Varga. Row 5, Santos Amaurio and Van Rosmalen. In row 6, Copa Del Olmo and Garcia. Behind them in row 7, Capote, Jimenez and Ribeiro. Row 8, Uriostegui, Valente and Echeverri. Row 9, Bevilacqua, Fabri and Nestola. And at the back in row 10, Holzer and Rehacek.
So as the stock class make the way off the grid for the final warm-up lap of the day, and it's Dino Iozzo that leads them into turn at number 1 for the warm-up lap. But it's going to be Mario Mayor that leads them away from pole position when lights go out in a couple of minutes' time. So the 44 there of Rodriguez took victory back in Estoril. Another rider that shows incredible early race pace, but seems to drop off as the tyres deteriorate as the race continues on.
That's a very important part of race management, and it's going to be, I know you say it's going to be less important here than it was in Catalonia, but it's still something that the riders will have to bear in mind.
Yeah, they will indeed, as the sun is probably at its hottest of the day, to be honest. We will get confirmation of that in a few moments' time when the graphic comes up, usually round about now. Here we are.
It has actually gone up 2 degrees. 33 degrees centigrade.
30, yeah, it's the warmest it's been all day, 41 degrees track temperature. So those
Pirelli tyres are really...
We're going to be really cooking here today. And we've seen all weekend that the Pirelli tyres have been setting all-time lap records all weekend.
Absolutely, yeah.
Apart from, of course, in the European Talent Cup, where it's still held by Max Kilis from 2021, which is quite incredible considering he even almost bettered that last year but didn't quite do it. So Max Kilis, when he was the most diminutive as he ever could be, is still holding out like lap record from some time ago in the European Talent Cup class. But let's stop talking about that.
Standings.
Stock Championship. A dead heat. We had a dead heat back in the European Talent Cup just previously in race number 2. We've got a dead heat in the championship for the stock class. Now, who will be coming out of it clear and favourite in 16 laps time? Mario Mayor put himself in pole position, quite literally, in the race and for the championship. And Dalla Porta from 9th on the grid has it all to do here in Jerez. He did miss the Algarve, which allowed Mario Mayor to close back in, but he's not been able to stop Mayor's charge to the front so far this weekend as the 82 pulls up to his maiden pole position in the class. Can he convert that into a maiden victory here? Just showed incredible consistency so far this season as Mayor. So, as the fans try and run for some cover in the grandstand opposite the pits, they will be watching the final race of the day, and I'm sure we're going to get an absolute cracker. 16 laps of stock European Championship action ready to get underway. The revs are rising, the red lights come on. He'll be out any second now, and Mayor from pole position. Will he get the whole shot? He got a slow start to Mayor.
A very slow start.
Very slow start. That's a disastrous start for your championship and pole setter. And Dino Iozzo's in second, but it's Fernandez from second on the grid, who takes the whole shot into turn number 1. So it'll be eyes opening up for Lorenzo Dalla Porta, seeing Mayor not taking the whole shot. He's dropped into third spot, so he's behind Iotto and Fernandez. And it looks like Mihaila, he's into third, into fourth. So we look further back where Lorenzo Dalla Porta is. It doesn't look like he's made up too much ground. So as he powered away through turn number 4, it's Fernandez leading the way from Iotto. Mayor from pole position, he's dropped back to third. Mihaila, Valle, Romero, Dalla Porta, he's made up 2 positions from 9th into 7th.
Iotto's going to be incredibly happy with the way he got away there.
He's going for the lead now, is Iotto, into turn 6. Pedrosa corner, late on the brakes.
Makes his move.
Oh, he's late on the brakes. Fernandez tries to ride around the outside. He's made it stick, and as that's Valle, so I think that
Has he made it stick?
Oh my word, goodness me! Contact almost between Iotto and Fernandez. Wow, that could have ended up in disaster.
Mayor getting involved as well.
Yeah.
Drama right from the start here. Iotto's leading.
We've seen plenty of it here today. We've got even more of it, and it's already lap 1 in Stock European Championship. So Iotto from 4th on the grid leads your pole setter. Mario Mayor. Fernandez, who led the opening couple of sectors, he's back into third. Iotto had a bit of a moment there through turn number 10. That's allowed Mayor to close up. He doesn't make it stick, but on the back of this group, a great start there for Valles. We were talking about him at the start of the race. Looking for his first ever top 10 as Iotto's almost out on the edge of the curve. You don't want to be running off there, as we've seen from Rico Salmela and Danny Munoz earlier on here today. As we've got more chopping and changing. Fernandez has gone from first all the way down to 4th, as now Mihaila has passed him for the podium spot. So
Mayor's actually recovered really well from that start.
Yeah, done. He's recovering even better now as he goes for the lead, but will Iotto get the switch back? No, Mayor brilliantly cool and calculated. Iotto up the inside, but can't quite make it. It's like a bit of a bobble on the rear end from Mario Mayor. So from pole to third, he's back into the lead, and Mayor, we might see him check out now that he has taken the initiative in this race. What can he do? Can anyone go with him? We've got Valle on the blue on the outside of the curb. Lorenzo Dalla Porta, he moves up to 7th. He's still in 7th for the time being, so he's not made any more progress since the start. There he is, the number 48 coming into the screen just behind the 71 of Romero. But Dino Iotto once again, latest of the late breakers. Oh, Mihaila, a bit of a bobble. Maybe it was a bit of contact there between himself and Rodriguez. So Rodriguez, wow, once again, he may have had another rider chop in front of him. But Iotto, latest of the late breakers into Pedrosa corner. The Pink Panther is at the front of the group once more. Mayor, he's been shuffled back into second, but in terms of the championship, this is perfect. He'll be taking 11 points over Lorenzo Dalla Porta if things stand the way they are.
And someone's gone down. It's Valente and Ribeiro as well.
Wow, goodness me, that's turn number 1 they've gone down. So, red flag.
Oh.
Well, fingers crossed. We also one of the riders walking away there, but fingers crossed. This is just a precaution. Maybe there's some gravel on the track, but we hope for the absolute best.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, lap 2 of, oh, there we are. Got a rider at the edge of the circuit, thankfully.
Yeah,
seems to be moving. So, I think it's Ribeiro.
Riders come in.
Yeah, I mean, good quick action there from the officials to red flag the race, because the last thing we want is the riders coming around at racing speed with a rider on the curb at the exit of turn number 1. Here we go again.
Let's see what happened.
Oh, so there we go. Got one of the riders setting up. Okay, so they've tangled far around the track there. So not sure if one of them went down first and the other one had nowhere to go. So yeah,
One of those replays where you could
Ribeiro
watch it again to see exactly
stretch it away.
what happened.
Great shame there, but we hope that this is just a precautionary measure.
We did see him earlier.
Yeah, he was setting up, so that's good news that we did see him setting up.
Absolutely reassuring.
But if we get any news on the condition, then we will obviously inform you. But for the time being, we will have a reduced lap count in this race, just like we did in the European Talent Cup just before this. And obviously the European Talent Cup didn't fill us with any drama, or plenty of drama it would have given us. So
I thought you were trying to make some kind of
yeah,
joke.
I was trying to make a joke, but he just didn't chime in, so I had to quickly roll back on it because it was a terrible joke. So so yeah, it's a great shame to see the race red flag, but rider safety, track marshal safety is 100% the most prioritized option, and glad to see that the officials took a very quick decision to red flag the race to make sure that nobody was in harm's way as the riders came back round. So At
The
the end-
riders were very quick as well to see what was happening.
They were indeed. Fantastic reactions from the riders. As soon as they saw the red flags, they hands up, they all slowed down. So on lap 2, the race has been halted for now, and it was Dino Iotto who took the lead back from Mario Mayor.
Yeah, there was a real battle opening up there. Dino
I don't know
have been sensational early on.
I don't know if this is good news for Lorenzo Dalla Porta, but we probably will get a complete restart because we haven't had 3 laps complete. So
Well, probably not then, but do you remember back in Misano where Della Porta took advantage of a red flag in the stock race? And ended up, I think he went on to win that race.
he did indeed. His first victory of the season.
Really showing experience by taking advantage of these kind of
Exactly.
procedural things.
Well, he did serve his long lap penalty, which back in Misano, I think equated to about 3.5 seconds. So he was mired right back in the pack. So it allowed him the opportunity to gain some places off the line, which he did. So Lorenzo Dalla Porta, we know, is a demon starter in the stock class. Mario Mayor, he has his work cut out from the next start because he dropped a few positions off the line, had a really sluggish start, and Iotto and Fernandez managed to get ahead of him.
Yeah, Mayon really needs to get away better this time. And Della Porta, I think, will probably be quite frustrated. He doesn't look it, though. He looks very happy.
He doesn't indeed, yeah.
But he had managed to move up 2 positions.
Yeah, the sign of a man that's really enjoying his racing at the moment, as we see one of the riders bolting it down in the pit lane, probably just running off to the toilet for a quick break before heading back out on track.
I'm not going to make any guesses as to why a rider would be running down the pit lane like that.
No. Some somatic anxiety, maybe just creeping in for some of these riders. Not for some of them, no. Nice. A little swig of water. And of
It's important to keep hydrated here,
indeed. And
as the fans know as well.
keeping hydrated is something we absolutely have to do in the commentary box. Got to say a big shout out to Jordi Matteo for bringing us some water.
Thank you, Jordi.
Yeah, Jordi Matteo is taking
Miriam, of
good
course.
care. Yeah, and Miriam, of course, taking good care of us here in the commentary box as well, and the aircon, which I've been delighted to say I've been enjoying all day in the commentary box, where we've been hot footing it out onto the park for me every so often. I've been staying nice and cool in here.
Yeah, well, it is warm out there, genuinely.
It really is, indeed, and well, this is not good for the rider's psyche, is this one, because they've built themselves up for a start and they've been 2 laps into a race with adrenaline rushing, but it's always the start where you always feel the most pressure, and that's where you want to get off the line well, good start, and just stay out of trouble, and then when the race settles in, you find yourself in a bit more of a
more
groove.
gas.
More gas indeed. Valley, it was showing really well. He was in top 5 at the end of lap number 1, dropped into 7th. Sorry, dropped down to 6th, but then he will be starting back in 7th. So, yep, confirmation. Pit lane will open for 1 minute at 16:24, so just under 5 minutes time. And there will be the original grid positions, and we just saw that flashing up on our timing monitor. That Lorenzo Dalla Porta has gone back down to 9th, and Mario Mayor will start from pole position. So 10 laps for the stock European Championship riders, and it's a lot less than the 16 laps that we originally were supposed to have. So tire consumption, if there was much of it going on, will be completely out of the window now, and everyone, you can imagine, will be going gung-ho from the get-go.
A stock sprint.
A stock sprint. I love a stock sprint, as Misano proved to be incredibly fun race to commentate on and watch from the confines and safety of the commentary box.
I do think this is another example of what could be construed as pretty bad luck for Dino Iotto. He was leading that race. I mean, what else needs to happen to Dino?
He was also, if you think back to Misano, he was leading that race when the red flag came out there as well. And he was looking quite comfortable in that race before the red flag, and that allowed...
And the shadow of Lorenzo Dalla Porta comes in behind like a shark.
You can always cue the Jaws music when it comes to Lorenzo Dalla Porta. He's always nipping at the heels and smelling some blood.
He's a veteran rider that knows exactly what he's doing, and he knows how to do it.
He does indeed. You always forget that it's 5 years ago he won that Moto3 World Championship. It feels like yesterday sometimes, to be honest. He's been around for that long, but also not that long at the same time. The fans using a fan of a fan. Using the fan to cool off a little bit.
Quite a good idea.
Yeah, great idea, that one.
Abanico, I think it is in Spanish.
You know better than I do.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not sure.
Just
I don't remember.
Conor Doherty giving Spanish lessons during the red flag of a stock European Championship. I mean, there's no one better, to be honest.
Well, it's a traditional thing in this part of the world.
Can you give us any clue on what the design of that fan could have been?
The design of the fan?
Yes. Not the person holding the fan.
That would probably be easier.
Well, we'll move away from the chat of fans trying to cool off with
Of all the
handheld
things to
fans.
talk about it.
Exactly, but back onto bike racing with the pit lane about to reopen in just over 2 minutes' time. A few of the fans there at the top of the paddock with a couple of ice creams, it looked like. So
Do you think that you're old enough now to remember that when there was a situation like this and there was a pause in the racing, you wouldn't have been looking at your phone? All of those fans in that shop were looking at their phones, Liam.
I mean, got to go back 20 odd years ago to maybe a time where that didn't happen. I can't remember what I used to do. Maybe just go outside and play for a little bit, or run upstairs and play the PlayStation until my dad shouted me back downstairs at the race was about to
but
start.
if you were at the circuit,
At the circuit,
Yeah.
no, goodness me, it was just stand there and wait and be bored out of your mind. So, yeah.
well, you'd never be bored out of your mind at the circuit.
Well, I mean, no, but when there's no racing going on, you just start kicking stones on the ground and waiting for the restart. So that was about as good as it got during a red flag.
So you're grateful that these
100%.
fans have phones to occupy
exactly.
themselves.
At least they've got something to do. Like the ridiculous boredom that we used to have to go through during the red flag. So, those fans, well, they're going through what we used to go to back in the day, not looking at their phones whatsoever. They're standing atop the grandstand across from the pit lane. And
He's got a can of Cruz Campo, the local beer.
the local beer, yeah. We've had a couple of them this weekend, getting well and truly acquainted with the local brewery nearby.
It's a very important thing to do.
Indeed there is. Well, we still wait for the resumption of the only race of the weekend here in Stock European Championship. Just heard the klaxon go, which means it's like an announcement of the announcement that the pit lane will reopen in 45 seconds time, as we see one of the bikes get rolled back into the paddock.
Well, in ETC, everyone was moving a bit quicker than this, I think, to get back out on track.
A bit more calm in the pit lane of the Stock Championship.
I think that's
teams and riders, aren't they?
a fair
a bit
assessment.
more well versed to maybe these conditions.
Maturity, perhaps.
Maturity, indeed. There we are. So, got the first rider rolling down the pit lane,
There's Lorenzo Della Porta.
which I think is number 4. It might be right. Maybe Lorenzo Della Porta already rolling down pit lane. Yes, it is. Lorenzo Della Porta. I thought I also saw Echeverri as well from the Echeverri racing team. On number 4, Yamaha. But the rest of them are rolling down pit lane now. So, the green flag is waving. That means pit lane is now open. Now remember, they have 1 minute to get themselves back out on track for the sighting lap. Anyone that misses that time will not be allowed out on track for the sighting lap and will have to start the warm-up lap from pit lane and then join at the back of the grid. But it seems to be that everyone has got themselves out on track for a 10-lap showdown here in Jerez to end the day. 25 of Verdoya looking down at his bike. Oh, please, not more trouble for poor Verdoya this season.
Oh, that would be unfortunate.
What's happening here is just trying to get a practice start, maybe. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, when they're starting to slow down, we start to worry that maybe there's a problem, but it seems to be everything's all
We've
okay.
been conditioned.
We have been indeed. So, 7 more seconds to go, and very lucky to get himself out on circuit there.
Yeah,
That was
left it very late.
Yeah, the number 31 that would have been of Jimenez. So MDR Competition, Yamaha 31 of Jimenez just got himself out on track. So almost came a cropper to the pit lane closing, but thankfully we've got all the riders that were on track at the start of that red flag. We're back out on track, and we just hope the 2 riders that caused the red flag, they are okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, important to reiterate that.
So the riders make their way around this sighting lap. It's going to be Mario Mayor from pole position once more. The number 82 from his maiden pole position. Do we really call it a maiden pole position now that he's already started from pole position?
I think we can do, but
I think
only
we can.
because we've started again from the original position.
Yes, and that's a great point you bring up. So, forget what happened in the first lap and a half of race number 1. This is a complete new slate. This is a new race entirely. When you look at the history books, you'll see this as the race. So forget about what happened in the first lap and a half that we did see. That is completely wiped from the history books and from our memories, we should say. So Mario Mayor from pole position will be Rodriguez in second, and rounding out the front row of the grid is Denise Mihaila with Dino Riotto, who was leading when the red flag came out. He'll be starting from 4th position once again out of Bedoya. And Romero with Dalla Porta, who climbed up to 7th. He'll be back in 9th spot. So the riders are rolling up to the grid slot, meeting their mechanics. Once all bikes are on the grid, the mechanics will make their way back into the pit lane, and we'll get the warm-up lap underway for a 10-lap sprint here in Stock European Championship.
Of all the people to be doing a practice start, you would have thought it'd be Mario as opposed to Andy Bedoya. Did not get away well at all.
Yeah,
at his first opportunity.
His first opportunity. We hope he'll get a bit of a better launch from the pole position this time round.
He did recover well, though.
He did indeed. He did lead at one stage before he also found his way back underneath him into turn 6, Pedrosa corner. Obviously named after the legend that is Danny Pedrosa, and still currently competing this year. We've seen so far very well in MotoGP. Took a sprint podium here back in May, I think it was, in MotoGP. So yeah, a legend indeed is Danny Pedrosa, and we've seen some incredible overtakes into what is now a legendary corner, turn number 6 at the bottom of the back straight. So what will happen in this race? Will Mayor consolidate his pole position into a victory and take the outright championship lead? If you've just joined us, we must remind you, after Portimao, Mayor and Dalla Porta come into Jerez equal on points, both on 61 points apiece. But Lorenzo Dalla Porta is at the top of the standings, having won 2 races so far this season, and Mario Mayor looking for his first ever victory in the class.
It's another title battle being fought out, and another race which we could look back at the end of the season and say that's where it changed.
Yeah, we've seen so many of it today, so much action, so much drama in the previous 5 races here at Jerez. If you've just joined us, make sure you get onto the JuniorGP YouTube channel and watch that back if you can, because it's been a day of incredible action and incredible drama all the way through, and title swings back and forth. We have not been able to call it at all. I'm pretty sure if I put a bet on any of the races, I would have lost every single time.
Not
would have lost a lot of money.
Any gambling.
And we do not, of course, encourage any of the gambling whatsoever.
Very well put.
Unless it is €1 with your friend. So, we've got Dino Riotto coming to his grid slot on the number 13 machine. Unlucky for some. Unlucky for Dino Riotto, maybe argue this season, but
this season though,
he prevails with the number, but even though he's come under some misfortune, he's showed great speed. But it is the 82 of Mayor that has showed the best speed throughout the whole weekend. He set a new all-time lap record in practice yesterday, pole position yesterday. He's gunning for his first victory here today.
Yeah, so far Mario has had a wonderful weekend.
Just a reminder, if you're looking out for Archie McDonald, the winner of the previous GP, he is not competing here this weekend because of visa issues. We hope to see him back for Aragon in a few weeks' time. But before then, we've got 10 laps of stock European Championship action to get underway. When the red lights come on, reds will be rising. Will Mayor get a better start this time round? Lights out, it looked like it was a better launch, but it is once again Fernandez that takes the whole shot.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely brilliant for the 44. Here comes Riotto on the 13, up the inside of Mayor potential. We're looking at Verdoy. He had a terrible start from 5th on the ground. He's dropped even more places further back. But Riotto, who's managed to find his way into second. Some riders are off at the background. The rider that has gone down is running for his bike, so thankfully he wasn't tangled up with anyone else when he went down. And that's a strange way of trying to pick up your bike, but it's worked for him. I'm not quite sure who that might have been. Looking down the order, well, keep an eye on that as we see the rider get back into the race. It was Valenti, number 32 rider. He'd gone down there, so sorry, Fabry. It was Fabry on the 555 bike. So Great shame there, but as we look back at the start of this race, the top end of this race, Iozzo round the outside of Fernandez. They did have it coming together at the start of the previous one, but
Looks like another one there.
My goodness me, Iozzo getting shuffled out wide, and there we are, storming away. So it was, and Kelly Nistola, my apologies to Fabry there. Yeah, my big apologies to Fabry there. So yeah, Kelly Nistola, not a good weekend for the Swiss rider, but it's Mayor who's swooped through to the lead. Fernandez is just like we saw in the first race, is getting shuffled back down the order with Mayor and Iozzo coming back through to the front of the field. Where's Lorenzo Dalla Porta? I hear you ask. He's moved up 1 place from 9th to 8th, so not as good as the start he made in the first race, which we've now scrapped from the history books, but he's now in 8th spot. There he is on the yellow and blue bike in the background, just behind Andy Verdoya. Verdoya's made a better, after making a tough start, he's made up some ground on this opening lap, the number 25 on the STV Honda Leclerc's machine. But the end of lap number 1, it's Mayor leading the way, but Iozzo's looking for the initiative.
Iozzo's looking for the opportunity here.
Oh, here we go. Later on the brakes was Mayor, but we've seen at the end of the back straight, that's when Iozzo seems to be at his absolute best into Pedrosa corner. Fernandez, though, sorry, Rodriguez, on the 44 machine, he's in 3rd spot after getting the whole shot off the line.
Rider 25, long lap penalty.
Wow, so we weren't focusing on him when he left the pit lane. Is that because
Verdoya's going to have?
Yeah, so I wonder if that's because he made a practice start. As Iozzo goes up the inside of Mayor into turn 5. You don't see many overtaking opportunities there, but when you do, they're usually brilliant. And Iozzo, he is at the lead of this race, so Verdoya, we were speaking about him there. He now has a long lap penalty, but we'll try and get confirmation about why that is the case. As Mayor once again looks up the inside and takes the top position in the race. He is back into 1st, and it's then 89 of Mihaila and Rodriguez on bike 44 has been shuffled back to 4th spot. So after taking the whole shot earlier on in the race from leading, he's now back into 4th after just a lap. It's been a full lap. He's dropped all the way back to 4th. Look in the background on that blood orange bike, and further back it's once again Valley on the 67. He's made a cracking start to this one. He's gone from 7th on the grid all the way up to 5th.
Yeah, it's really good from Carlos Valle, but it's, to me, looking like Mayor and Iozzo are looking to seize control of the race, set the pace, but neither wants to allow the other one to do it.
Yeah, Iozzo just keeping... Oh my goodness, he's deep on the brakes as Iozzo, really committed into Lorenzo corner. Now, we're just talking about Valle and the rider just behind him. We said he only made up 1 spot on lap 1. He's made up 2 spots this time round. He's now back into 6th as Rodriguez makes a move on Mihaila into turn number 1. So the 44, we thought he might have started slipping down the order. He's fighting back valiantly now.
Yeah, I think we can keep an eye on Lorenzo Dalla Porta as well.
Yeah, on the previous lap, Lorenzo Dalla Porta set a 1:45.3. That was 0.3 of a second slower than the fastest lap of the race by Mihaila. So once again, Iozzo, like he did the previous lap, takes the advantage into turn 5. What a move there from the South African rider. Really does enjoy that fast right uphill hander. Down the back straight it would go. And is that potentially something? I thought it was something potentially hanging off the left-hand side of Iozzo's bike, but it wasn't, thankfully for Iozzo. Everything is still intact for the time being.
Yeah, but they are exchanging the lead of this stock race.
Yeah, they are indeed. It's a great battle going on for 1st, and there's a great battle for 5th and 6th. Lorenzo Dalla Porta in the background. He's now through into 5th spot, and if these four keep carving each other up, Lorenzo Dalla Porta will be coming to play. Yes. And this is what he wants. He wants these 4 riders, this 8-wheeler at the front, to keep swapping positions, especially in the hands of Iozzo and Mayor, who keep swapping positions about 2 or 3 times per lap. And this will just play into the hands of Dalla Porta. And as he crosses the line, we will keep an eye on the lap time, see what lap times Dalla Porta is doing.
Well, now he's got no one in front of him. He can just try and narrow this gap as much as possible.
Yeah, great right there from 9th on the grid. Here we go. That is
Andy Verdoya.
Verdoya, 25, serving his long lap penalty. Now, I wonder if that was because of that. Oh, goodness me.
That was a...
Comes in behind Del Olmo.
Fast entry, yeah.
It really was. So Del Olmo and the Kawasaki, a great showing there from Del Olmo. And not so much we see the Kawasaki team in this class or featuring near the front, but he's now inside the top 11. So great ride from Del Olmo. And we'll be hopefully pushing for a top 10. So back at the front. Mayor leading the way. Iotto, can he make his third pass in as many laps into turn 5? He's shaping up. Nope, maybe not this time because he got too close on exit of turn 4. Now, on the previous lap, you might be wondering what the lap time was from Dalla Porta to the group ahead. He was 0.2 of a second faster than Mihaela. He was 1/10 of a second faster than Mayor. So he is coming. He's charging to the front of this group, as charging to the front of the group in general is Dino Iotto on bike number 13. He swoops through into lead of this race, and Mayor shuffled back to second as Rodriguez on bike 44 looks over his shoulder to see who else is in the group. It's Mihaela, but Lorenzo Dalla Porta is slowly coming with 6.5 laps to go. Will he just maybe run out of time? Has he got enough time? Has he got enough speed to do that and enough tyre as well?
That is the question, Liam, but I think it's very much time that we cue the music that we mentioned earlier, the Jaws theme tune, because Lorenzo Dalla Porta is coming.
He really is. That looks a lot closer so far in this lap. Lorenzo Dalla Porta,
yeah, absolutely.
He's got the hooks into the back of this group. He's now starting to reel them back in.
He was the fastest through Sector 1.
He was by quite a bit as well. Fastest, not quite as fast as Sector 2. That went to the riders behind us. We see a change for third. That's Mihaela up the inside of Rodriguez for a third position. So Mihaela now starting to seize the initiative as he sees Dino Iotto. He's opened up a bit of advantage on this lap. It's 0.2 of a second. He was 0.2 of a second faster than Mayor. And once again, it was Dalla Porta that was the second fastest rider on track behind Dino Iotto that time. But crucially, 0.3 of a second faster than his main championship rival Mario Mayor in second.
Yeah, Mario is going to be trying to get on the back of Dino Iotto, but he's also got to be incredibly concerned about the rider he's got right on the back of his bike right now. It's Rodriguez. Oh, yeah, it's Rodriguez.
So Mihaela, yes,
yeah.
on 89. He's clinging to him like a bad smell as Mihaela. Swapping all over, rear end from right-hand side to left-hand side, all the way down the back straight. But oh, that's a late one. Don't look down. Oh my goodness me. He took his eye off the ball for a second, looked down, it looked like, and I thought he was about to tag the back of Dino Iotto. But he had so much commitment, so much belief that he would get the job done anyway without any problem. Mihaela takes a look down as he completes an overtake. From third to second goes the 89.
Oh,
wow.
That was a fantastic move.
Incredible from Mihaela. So in the course of a lap, he's gone from fourth to third, third to second. He now has his eye sets on Iotto, but runs on the blue paint. Thankfully, no track limits there because of the serrated curbs. The Mazzano curves, as they're commonly known. Will he be shaping up Iotto into Lorenzo corner? You can believe your bottom dollar that he will, but maybe it will be Mayor shaping up a re-overtake. Yeah. And he does. Later on the brakes, the 82 slides back up the inside of the MDR competition machine. Oh, goodness me. This is great racing between these two for second and third. This is just playing into the hands of Dino Iotto and playing into the hands of Lorenzo Dalla Porta, who does set a 45 dead. So that's 0.2 of a second faster than your race leader.
Yeah, Lorenzo's doing everything he needs to do. Dino's doing everything he needs to do. And these two, between them, Mayor and Mihaela, need to decide who's going to set the pace between them. Because otherwise, Iotto's going to just get away from them.
Yeah, well, indeed. So what can Mayor do now that he's back into second position? He seems to be drifting a little bit wide through turn number 4, and that just gives Mihaela the bit of a confidence maybe to just look for a move up the inside into 5. But he seemed to get a bad drive off that turn at 5 fast right-hander, but powering down the back straight. Iotto still leading brilliantly into Pedrosa corner from Mayor. Mihaela once again just having a bit of a bobble on the brakes. Rodriguez, he's not out of this, but Lorenzo Dalla Porta is slowly coming. We have cued the Jaws music. He does smell blood, and the number 48 is slowly reeling in the top 4. So we're looking at Lorenzo Dalla Porta, 4 and a bit laps remaining. Is he just leaving it a little bit too late? Coming through sector number 3 now. We will keep an eye on the gap from Dalla Porta to Rodriguez. It was 0.7 of a second. It remains at 0.7 of a second up to the number 44 of Rodriguez. So on this lap, he's not really closing in too much, but we'll keep an eye through sector 4. Through the section of the track he crashed out on Friday. Quite a fast crash for Lorenzo Dalla Porta.
Yeah, really fast crash. It does look like he is gaining ground, but just not in this lap. He's done wonders so far, but this leading pack of 4 just seem to be, for the time being, at a bit of another level.
Yeah, they do indeed. just to remind you that the top 3 in this race have never won in the stock European Championship. Rodriguez in bike 44 has got a victory in the class back in Estoril. Lorenzo Dalla Porta has 2. So we've had 4 winners so far this season, 3 winners from 4 races. Lorenzo Dalla Porta, Rodriguez and Archie McDonald. So if any one of these top 3 can win, we will have a brand new winner in the class. And Iotto, who is a stalwart from last year and last couple of years in the stock championship, he feels like his first win might be long overdue.
Very much so. P2 is best finished so far in this class.
That looks like it might have a crash in turn 2. Yeah, Iker Garcia down at turn 2, I believe. It's a great shame for Garcia there. So, yeah, thankfully able to walk away as Mayor looking up the inside. That was a late move potential. I think it caught my highest by surprise there, and that's allowed Rodriguez back through. Now, on the previous lap, that Lorenzo Dalla Porta was slower than the top 4, so he's not gaining any more ground on the top 4. Maybe he's just used up too much of that rear tyre pushing through, and he's seeing the top 3 just slowly eke out once again. Dino Iotto setting a really good pace. He's been in consistently the 145.2s, 145.2, 145.2, while the others have been fluctuating up and down. Last lap, Mayor was a 145.0.
Yeah, but Iotto incredibly good as well through that last sector. He was the fastest so far.
He was indeed, yeah. Very fast sector from Iotto, which is good for him to try and put himself in prime position to block any attack coming into Lorenzo corner, an attack that Rodriguez can't hold back as Mahaila sets up Rodriguez into the final corner. Lorenzo corner, I've seen a few of those block pass overtakes. He wasn't happy with that move, was he? Rodriguez, he shakes his head coming down the straight.
This is racing.
Yeah, this is racing, and he's definitely not the first or the last rider we've seen do that here today.
Yeah, there we go. Iotto with the fastest lap, 144.987.
Wow, incredible lap there from Iotto.
Yeah, he's still setting the pace from the front.
He really is, and he's now starting to stretch that leading grip, and Mayor struggling to keep with him so far on this lap. 2.5 laps remaining, and Dino Iotto is now asking questions of the riders behind.
Can you keep up with me?
Oh, moment there for Rodriguez. I'm not sure what happened there. Just set up going into turn 5, but he's collected it well, so yeah, not sure what happened. That was a strange one from the 44.
For the time being, it's Iotto leading from Mayor.
And here comes Rodriguez. Now, does Mahaila maybe have a problem? So he went into turn 5. Was he worried he might run into the back of Mahaila? And then he just seemed to eat up that advantage that he had coming down the back straight into Pedrosa corner.
Well, he's not riding there as if he has a problem.
No, you're absolutely right there. So maybe it was just a bit of a mistake. Maybe missing a gear coming onto the back straight. They allowed Rodriguez to get the advantage. But
the smallest of errors can be incredibly costly at this level.
Can be, and now Mahala's fighting back once more. Oh, goodness me, chopping across the front was Rodriguez. So much so he had to give Mahaila some room so there was no contact into the stadium section. But this is allowing Dalla Porta to close in on 3rd and 4th. So more points maybe potentially for your
podium
current
here.
championship leader, but not as many as Mayor is looking to try and gain. So if Mayor finishes second here, he will gain the outright championship lead, but he doesn't want to go for second. He wants victory. He wants his first ever victory in stock European Championship, but so does Iotto. We start 2 laps to go here in Jerez. The European Championship action at its absolute best. It looks like it's now between Iotto and Mayor. 1.3 seconds back is Mahaila. Rodriguez, and a couple of tenths behind them is Dalla Porta. And Mayor
with the fastest lap.
Goodness me, he's got some late race pace, does Mayor, doesn't he?
144.918.
Well, here we go. Game on for race victory here in Jerez. Mayor will feel slighted after missing out on victory on the run to the line in Portimao. He'll want to rectify that. He will want to take the championship lead with victory, but Dalla Porta.
Oh, look at Dalla Porta.
My goodness, he's found some late race pace here. It has Dalla Porta.
Yeah. I think it's very unlikely he's going to be able to catch up with Iotto Mayor, but if he can get on that podium, then that's
job done.
Job not quite done, but a job very well done.
Indeed it will be. He's now seen these two squabbling again.
Oh, look at that, yeah.
Yeah, so Rodriguez runs a little bit deep after taking the advantage into turn number 6, Pedrosa corner. Well, Mahaila get the run through turn number 7. Yes, he does. Into 8 they go. Once again, Mahaila back up the inside, and this is allowing Dalla Porta to lick his lips and get involved in the battle. Lorenzo Dalla Porta up the inside of Rodriguez, doesn't quite make it stick, and it's Mahaila running a little bit deep, and Dalla Porta looks like he's got more tyre left than these two. They're starting to run a little bit deep. on corner exit. Well, he's been able to hold a tighter line. And big black line there from Mihaela going into Crivier corner. 2 more corners to go and a lap for the race win here. Dino Iotto goes defensive into the final corner. He will have to do that in 1 lap's time. 1 more corner to go and a lap. Iotto powers out of the final corner across the line to start the final lap of the race. They're both chasing victory here for the first time in stock European Championship. The Pink Panther, bike number 13, leads the way from Mayor, and we've got another battle for the back. Rodriguez once more takes third from Mihaela. Lorenzo Dalla Porta is just keeping his powder dry for now, and Mayor another fastest lap of the race. They were both in the 1:44.8, so both well and truly above the rest and beyond in this last lap.
They're in the 144s on the previous lap as well. They're the only 2 riders currently out there that have done it. They have set the pace, and they've broken away here with an incredible bit of late race pace.
And Rodriguez again up the inside into 5. How many corners have these two not overtaken each other? I can't even count them because
very few.
Yeah, very few. And Lorenzo Dalla Porta, it's now or never for Lorenzo Dalla Porta to be on the podium. Down the back
like
straight.
he's lining it up.
He's lining it up. 2 for 1 deal for Lorenzo Dalla Porta. No, just a 1 deal. But it might be because Rodriguez is running a little bit deep. But back in the front, it's Mayor climbing all over the rear of Iotto. Iotto looking for his first victory, but so is Mayor. We're looking at this titanic battle for third, but we need to see what's happening for the battle for the victory as Lorenzo Dalla Porta has a look up the inside.
One of these 2 riders is going to be on the top step of the podium for the first time.
Potentially might be, but who's going to finish third? Dalla Porta is hassling Rodriguez. Mihaela, he might still finish in third, but 3 more corners to go. Iotto from Mayor. One of these 2 will take the first ever stock victory. And Mihaela looks up the inside of Dalla Porta. Oh no, Rodriguez is gone. He's throwing away a podium. Dalla Porta, he will gain more points. Here it comes. Mayor. No, Mayor takes, wow, what a move. But Iotto, will he get the driver out of the corner? He didn't go defensive enough. Mayor is about to take the championship lead. And with that, a maiden victory in stock European Championship.
What about that from Mayor? He left it late.
Piece of racecraft from Mayor, left it to the absolute death and takes victory here in
He's
Jerez.
absolutely thrilled.
Wow, my goodness me.
Celebrating with
Mayor.
Lorenzo Dalla Porta, and what unfortunate situation for Adrian Rodriguez.
Oh, could you have any contrasting fortunes on the final lap? Delight for Mario Mayor, despair for Rodriguez. He's looked so comfortable, but he didn't know that Dalla Porta probably wasn't close enough to launch an attack. He pushed the front too hard and slid off through the fast right-hander, turn number 11, which has claimed so many victims this weekend. But
Mario Mayor, very much a worthy winner after his performance this weekend.
Indeed. The only
setting the fastest lap, pole position, and a race win.
And a race win to top off what has been an incredible weekend. But you've got to give a great word to Dino Iotto, pushed so valiantly, led brilliantly for most of that race, but Mario Mayor just had an extra little bit. He lined it up perfectly. Iotto thought he'd went defensive enough, but not quite what he should have done. And Mario Mayor.
Iotto's going to feel that despair right now. It's going to feel like a loss, but when he looks back on this, it's a P2, a fantastic result.
After what's happened so far this season for Dino,
just looks dejected now. You're on the podium, Dino.
yeah. He won't feel any delight until he gets back into Parc Fermé and celebrate with his crew. But Lorenzo Dalla Porta, from what has been a difficult weekend, there's some fumes coming from the exhaust. He's been pushing that bike so hard that the bike has just eventually cried enough. But the 48, he's dropped to second in the championship, 9 points off Mario Mayor. It could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse. I mean, moving up from P9 on the grid to a podium finish is maybe the best he could have hoped for, especially at Jerez, a circuit at which he'd struggled throughout his career. This is now his best finish at this circuit. P3, his best previous finish was P8. Yeah.
Goodness me. So yeah, great. I think I just pointed
congratulations, Lorenzo, as well.
Yeah, Lorenzo Dalla Porta, he'll take that'll be a win.
You've got over the Jerez hump.
It does indeed. Yeah, we can put that one to bed now. There's no more bad omen for Jerez and Lorenzo Dalla Porta. But Mario Mayor, this will be the happiest place in the world for him at the moment. Jerez.
First win. Look at what it means to him as well.
Not just his first win, but also the championship lead. 9 points ahead of Lorenzo Dalla Porta.
The flag is the flag of Navarra, I think.
Oh, I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the autonomous community of Navarra in the north of Spain, on the border of the Basque Country.
Well, for the fans that came all the way from Navarra to cheer on Mario Mayor, they have been delighted with that result.
Absolutely.
He left it very late, but...
Oh, that's the way that is worth travelling for that kind of race finish.
100%. It's better late than never. And he delivered on that promise of victory to his fan club. And Mario Mayor, well, he's made a massive step in 2024 as he tangled I think he might have just dropped the flag in the wheel. He's not the first rider to ever do it. He will certainly never be the last rider, because it happens so often. You see throughout all of racing that the winner carries a flag and then he just gets wrapped up in the rear wheel. The JV racing squad absolutely over the moon. Mario Mayor, number 82, well, it now reigns supreme at the top of the championship standings. The team and the family all over the moon with that one. Now, this is what happened earlier on in the race. Dino Iozzo, he made a play for the lead, and once he got into the lead, he led brilliantly, opening up a bit of a gap over Mario Mayor, even setting the fastest lap of the race. But this was on the final lap. Rodriguez tucks the front at the fast turn 11. Very lucky not to get tangled up with that Yamaha that was cartwheeling itself into oblivion in the Jerez gravel trap. But here we go. Oh, we had a bit of a moment at Iozzo on the curb, and then so we didn't see that at the time. We were too busy looking at the incident for Rodriguez, so it's a shame there. So without that, he potentially could have had enough of a buffer from Mayor, but Mayor, he'll feel vindicated after Portimao when he just got dragged to the line from Archie McDonald, and Iozzo was oh so close. That was 99.8% perfection from Dino Iozzo, but unfortunately that 0.2 just missing. But you know, Iozzo, he came oh so close. He's got the speed, he will bounce back, and he'll be well and truly in victory contention in Aragon and Valencia, you feel, before the end of the season. We have 2 more rounds to go for the Stock European Championship, and with those 2 rounds to go, well, it'll be Mario Mayor that's celebrating the championship at the end of the season. And after looking quite dejected on the cool-down lap, he can crack a smile. He looks quite happy now with Pez at second place. He's also been doing extremely well in other series during the time off that we have had. Race victories, podiums, and other categories. So Dino Iozzo can smile. He's had quite a good summer so far, and he started off the autumn months in a very strong position. As Lorenzo Dalla Porta, well, count today's result as a victory, considering he had a fast crash at turn 11 on Friday. And he's feeling a little bit battered and bruised from that one. Qualified 9th yesterday. Didn't look like he had any pace throughout the weekend. But then he turns up on Sunday, turns up the wick, and from 9th on the grid, managed to salvage a podium position and 16 important points, but taking the full 25, and of course the championship lead. It is Mario Mayor who's down in Parc Fermé to talk to Conor Doherty.
Mario, it's been an incredible weekend. You started from pole here, but there was such an incredible race as well. Tell us what it was like.
It's an incredible weekend because I dominate all the sessions, and the race was very difficult because Dino was very strong, and my teammate Lorenzo, congrats for him. And thank you for all my team and all the people that support me, and to the next more.
And now in Spanish, please.
No, ha sido una carrera muy disputada con Dino y con mi compañero, que ha estado muy fuerte. Darle la enhorabuena a él, a todo mi equipo, que ha hecho un increíble trabajo. También agradecer mucho a toda la gente que me apoya desde casa, desde Navarra, y nada, la siguiente más y mejor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Felicidades, eh?
Okay.
Bye, carrera.
Paying tribute to all these fans who have travelled from Navarra down to Jerez to see him take victory. Mario Mayor is a first-time race winner in Stock European Championship, and of course the championship leader to boot. But he got a terrible start from pole position. not once but twice in the Stock European Championship race. The race was red flagged on lap 2 because of an incident further back. We did see before the rider getting stretchered off that he was setting up, so fingers crossed that he is okay. Start number 2, Mario Mayor had a better start this time, but he unfortunately lost out once again to Rodriguez and Iozzo. So Iozzo moving into second, just behind Rodriguez, as we had Kilian Nastola sliding off, and a few more riders sliding off further back. So you see Lorenzo Dalla Porta making some moves as he charged through from 9th on the grid. It would be this move by Mario Mayor that put him to the front of the pack, but almost Mihaela getting a little bit too involved at certain points. We'll see throughout the highlights package. Now this move into turn number 6 once again after Dino Iozzo was putting some incredible moves on Mayor into turn at number 5 as Verdoya was handed a long lap penalty and had to serve that. Thankfully did safely, and he eventually came home in 6th spot. But this move here from Iozzo put him to the front of the pack as he started to try and streak away and stretch the group. Mayor was able to go with him, but it was the battle for 3rd that we were watching closely. Once more, look at this move here from Mihaela. He made the move on Mayor, looked down at his dash and then looked back up again and just complete the move. As cool and calmly as you like. But the top 2 soon broke away, with Iozzo setting an incredibly fast pace at the front. Only Mayor could go with him. On the last lap, Dalla Porta was in 4th and Rodriguez slipped out of contention for what would have been his 2nd podium of the season. And then into the final corner, Mayor slid up the inside of Dino Iozzo to deny Iozzo a maiden victory, but to gain himself victory for the first time in Stock European Championship, and with that takes to Aragon a 9-point championship advantage from Lorenzo Dalla Porta on the bike number 48 as Rodriguez licked his wounds. But Mayor, first time winner, championship leader, it couldn't get any better.
Campeonato de Europa de Stock de la carrera recién disputada, recibimos al equipo vencedor, el GV Macro Bonsai.
Well, teammates as well, Liam.
Para Biel González.
It was a great
Mayor and Dalla Porta.
Yeah, posing for a picture, 1st and 3rd teammates in the class. It seems weird not to see one of the 72 Artbox team representatives on the podium, but Moto2 and Stock, we don't have those teams. We've just become so accustomed today. As to learn,
They've been on enough podiums.
They've been on enough podiums, definitely. And it's good to see Iozzo finally being able to put to bed what would have been a disappointment, quite rightly, of crossing the line in 2nd, being oh so close to that maiden victory. But Mario Mayor, the happiest rider in the Stock class here today, after securing a maiden ever victory, as Pedro Ribeiro, if I am your chief steward, hands over the team prize to the GV Racing Yamaha squad. With 2 riders on the podium, Lorenzo Dalla Porta will definitely count that 3rd place as one of his most valuable in his career, considering where he came from this weekend. Dino Iozzo, another podium. And it's been a while since we've seen him on the podium, so great to see that smile beaming from ear to ear again for Dino, the Pink Panther, on the podium with 2nd place. But none will beam from ear to ear as much and as brightly as Mario Mayor, your new championship leader, 9 points ahead of Lorenzo Dalla Porta, and your first time race winner in Stock.
Fuerte el aplauso para los integrantes.
For the first time in his Stock European Championship career, the Spanish national anthem reigns for Mario Mayor here in Jerez. And he now takes 9 points to Aragon over Lorenzo Dalla Porta, who does spray some in the bubbly, and for the first time today, all 3 of the riders are old enough to display the Prosecco Doc on the podium, so I'm sure there'll be
That's right, Lou.
not spraying too much of it so they can share it with their teams as well. Cheers all round. Indeed.
Camaraderie between the 3 podium finishes as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very tough race out there today. 10 laps, even though it was reduced. It was still a very hot day out there on circuit, and those 3 riders did extremely well. Mayor, Iotto and Dalla Porta completing the podium.
There we have the final results then. Mayor with the win, Iotto following him, and Dalla Porta on the podium as well. Demis Mejia in 4th, Carlos Valle in 5th, Andy Verdoy in 6th, Blay Trias in 7th, Borja Jimenez in 8th, and Joan Santos in 9th. Then in 10th, Marco Garcia, in 11th, Massimo Coppa, 12th, Jose Luis Amario, 13th, Kilian Holzer, 14th, David Jimenez, 15th, Juan P. Urostegui, Juan I should say, 16th, Javier Del Olmo, 17th, Gonzalo Capote. Behind them, Pablo Nicolas Echeverri, 19th, David Fabri, 20th, Nicolas Bevilacqua, 21st, Declan Van Rosmalen, 22nd, Filip Rehacek. Not finishing, Adrian Rodriguez, Ike Garcia, and Thibaut Eric Varga. Nor did Ruben Romero, Kilian Nestola, Rodrigo Valente, and Gonzalo Ribeiro.
Well, with 5 rounds down, 2 more to go in the Stock European Championship. This is how the points play out. Mario Mayor now moves to the top of the standings, 9 points clear of Lorenzo Dalla Porta. Demis Mejia just missing on podium. He drops to 31 points back, with Andy Verdoyer salvaging 2nd spot. He's in 4th. We have Adrian Rodriguez, who crashed out from 3rd in the final lap. Borja Jimenez on 39 points ahead of Archie McDonald, who we hope to see back in Aragon. Dino Iotto, he's moved up to 8th, with Iker Garcia completing the top 10. Jose Luis Amario in 11th ahead of Neil Roach, and 12th, Alex Millan, and 13th ahead of Carlos Valle, and 14th. And then running at the top 15 is Ruben Romero. Juan Santos and then Marco Garcia on 15th and 12th points respectively, ahead of Tibor Varga, and then Blay Trias and Kevin Quintal running out the top 20. And further back we've got Copa Nestola, who we unfortunately saw coming a cropper at turn number 1 and lap 1 and start number 2. And then running at top 25 is Ribeiro, with Davide Fabri in 26th ahead of Kilian Holzer, picking up some good points today, as we see the top 30 points finishers. But the one that is on top of everybody here after Jerez, heading into Aragon in a few weeks' time. The maiden race winner here in Stock European Championship, 9 points clear of Lorenzo Dalla Porta with 2 more rounds to go. Mario Mayor is a Stock European Championship race winner and your new championship leader.